Hi, Colette. How you doing? Let's go ahead and take a look at your final renditions. Okay, so we've got one thing I want to mention is that when you do submit for final presentation, always remember to try to make your presentation as complete as possible. So right here you would depict, you would write the name of your client, and you would write whether these are abstract or pictorial. So a lot of the information that you included here should be right over here so that the viewer can just remind themselves exactly what they're looking at as they're looking through your sketches. I think it's a really, really important concept for you to understand that you want to make your presentations as simple and easy for possible for the person that is viewing it. Whether, eventually in a real world setting, that's going to end up being a creative director or an art director or possibly even a client or a group of colleagues. So you really want to label things accordingly. So be sure you do that for your final submission for the task. But at any rate, let's take a look. I think that you've got some good ideas here. I think in this one right here, I think one of the problems is we got kind of a little bit of a lack of contrast through here. So at a smaller size, if we zoom out here, we can see that the eyes get lost. We can no longer see them, and that is based on the fact that there's no contrast between the eyes themselves and the color of the actual bull. So try to increase that contrast so that those eyes can be seen, as they seem to be quite an integral part of the mark itself. So keep that in mind. I think one of your classmates made this comment about the horns and the fact that this looks more like a cow than like a bull. And I think a bull's horns come out like this a little bit. Cows come out more up on top. So I think maybe you would adjust those. Take a look at maybe some illustrations of bulls or even some images of bulls, and let's see how those horns come out the top of the head and see if we can get those a little bit more looking like a bull and a little bit less like a cow. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at something. I want to do this real quick. I want you to take a look at the Chicago Bulls logo. That's a basketball team at NBA located in Chicago. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound simplistic. I don't know if you're a basketball fan, but I just want you to take a look at this logo because it's pretty interesting, and it's specifically in its relationship to what you're working on here. So let's go ahead and take a look. Right over here, we can kind of see how the horns more come out towards the side. I think that's pretty important. So you might want to take a lead off that. Also take a look how everything has really good contrast, so nothing gets lost when it's presented at a smaller size. And those little pink things right there on the inside of the nose, I don't think we need those. I think those are going to end up getting lost when you reduce the size of the logo as well. Okay, the abstract I think is really interesting, almost a cubist approach to the completely flattening out the three-dimensional to just a completely flat variation. And I think that in a way, I think it's really interesting in its association to cubism. So I found that to be really interesting. And it's an interesting mark. I think it's a little bit too much going on right now. I would recommend you really simplify things through here quite a bit. I mean, do you even need this whole second square? It seems like we could just take this rectangle and place it right there and we'd get the same effect, and simplifying things quite a bit, right? So think about that. Also, start thinking about how you might consider adding the name of the client to this, whether it's below or on the side or however that configuration is. Just try to think about how you'll start to build your logo, including the word mark, the name of the client, as well as the logo itself. All right, good job. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. I'll be glad to clarify. Thank you.